Alright, so a little bit ago I made a video about which TF2 character would actually fit in Overwatch, but now I wanted to try my hand at actually designing the characters if they were put in Overwatch. You know, just their ability sets. Anyways, let's get started with Scout like usual. It's pretty hard for me to come up with anything for Scout because the shotgun is overused in Overwatch like a lot. There are like 5 or 6 people with shotguns. Whatever, Scout's a DPS. He's obviously getting his stock shotgun. Probably not gonna get his pistol, but his bat will be his melee. Actually, no, I think I know a way of him getting his pistol. Scout would most definitely get the Pretty Boy's pocket pistol, and it would be his secondary ability. He would use it to finish off a target that either escapes too far away for his shotgun to be viable, or is low health and he's ran out of ammo and doesn't have time to reload. I don't know how overpowered this ability would be, so maybe it gets the ability to headshot, but let's say it's a 5-round burst. It'll probably be timed like Hanzo's Storm Arrow, so you have a limited amount of time to use all the bullets, and it doesn't matter if you get a headshot or not. As long as you hit the enemy with the bullet, you get 10 health for each bullet, which is only 50 health. In the grand scheme of things in Overwatch, any ability can still kill you if all you gain is 50 health, so I don't see that as overpowered. And he would still get the same amount of healing even if he hits somebody who's in some kind of defense form like Orissa's golden form, because he still hit. Doesn't matter how much damage you do, you still get the healing from it. And I don't see giving Scout his double jump as something that is overpowered or bad, because there are 2 Shimadas that can double jump, 3 of the Asian characters can wall climb, and 1 of them can teleport. So I think giving Scout his double jump is just fine. At least giving him the ability to jump over a tank. That, like, I swear that's not overpowered. Maybe it is, who knows. He's not going to be a shield breaker, clearly. He's going to go around the shield. He's Scout, he flanks. And his final ability, I can't give him the invulnerability of a Bonk Atomic Punch. I'm gonna have to give him Mad Milk. He's gonna splash Mad Milk on the enemy team and give his entire team lifesteal. Kinda like Reaper's lifesteal, except everybody gets it. And since lifesteal stacks in Overwatch, this specific ability would make Scout good with Reaper and Mauga, both of which are good for charging in or flanking. Maybe even Ana, actually, because imagine being able to get lifesteal off of people who are also antied and can't heal. You'd have to give this thing a crazy cooldown, like 10 seconds. Well, actually, it wouldn't be overpowered because half the tanks can just absorb projectiles and half the DPS can just dodge them, teleport out of the way, cleanse them. Same with supports. So yeah, I actually don't see that as overpowered. Now let's talk about his ultimate ability. Scout's ultimate ability would probably be his Force of Nature, giving him extreme knockback on enemies that he hits. Like, this would probably have to be a 10-second duration ultimate, and his reload would probably be pretty quick because the Force of Nature reloads real fast. So you'd probably give it the shine of the Criticola, the yellow shine with electricity that goes over it, and every enemy he hits, they get knocked back. I'd say about as far as Doomfist's punch knocks people back, except without the ability to deal extra damage with them colliding with walls. It's just knockback, and maybe a 20% damage increase. Probably no ability to headshot. I'm trying to balance this in my head, and I don't know how to do that. Whatever, feel free to roast me in the comments. I'll be laughing too. Next up, we got... Oh, actually, I could do some pretty cool stuff with Soldier, can't I? Hold on. Alright, I'm gonna make a rash decision here, and I know Soldier isn't that much of a tank, but if we get somebody like Junker Queen as a tank, I'm sure Soldier could fit as a tank. After all, we already have a rocket using DPS. I don't want to do that again. I said that twice, I think. And especially since Demo Man's already gonna be going over to DPS later. I'd literally just be watering down the explosives just to make a... Like, do we even have an explosive using... Yeah, we got Sigma. Sigma's the only one that uses explosives that I remember. Right. So Soldier will be the only other tank that uses explosives. And because his don't bounce, you'd have to use a lot more skill than Sigma. So yeah, let's get this started. Alright, so Soldier would definitely have the original. I'll give him the original. Everybody likes the original, so I'm not giving him the stock rocket launcher. He gets the penis looking thing in the middle of his screen. And while he does take self-damage, he will still be able to use it to jump, let's say vertically, not horizontally. That'll make him more unique than some of the other tanks that just go forward instead of upward. I think D.Va's the only one that can actually just go upward. Whatever. Soldier's secondary ability is going to be 3 black box rockets, each one probably healing him 50. That's only 150 health. Remember, other tanks can heal for over 100 health. I think Roadhog can heal for about 200 in like less than 3 seconds. 150, 50 for each rocket seems perfectly fair. Let's make Soldier's final ability the Cow Mangler Charge Shot. Give him huge damage bonus. Like, let's say it's his normal weapon damage plus 35%. I don't know. I don't want it to insta-kill anybody, but I want it to get them close because the afterburn is what's going to kill them. Remember, this is an afterburn weapon. I don't want it to... For some reason, I think Mauga's charge used to one-shot Tracer. That's not something I want. Roadhog can just insta-kill headshot 3 characters. That's not what I want. I don't want tanks to be able to just insta-kill. They're supposed to absorb damage, not deal it. That's for the DPS. But yeah, give him afterburn. If 6v6 ever comes back, he'd be a great pair with Mauga. Let's say the afterburn only lasts for like 3 seconds though. I don't think Mauga's afterburn... No, actually I think Mauga's afterburn would last longer than that. So yeah, let's make it 3 seconds because we don't want him to overshadow anybody else. We want him to work with them, not do better than them. Soldier's ultimate ability would probably be an activation of all 3 banners. So he gets health regeneration, 20% lifesteal, 20% more damage, and immunity to headshots. That would probably be the extent of his ultimate ability, but apply it to all of his teammates that are next to him. Like you know Zenyatta's ultimate? Like that area of effect size, probably. For 8 seconds, because it would stop them from dying to insta-kill headshots. It would give them all a damage bonus, but not directly insta-kill people. And it would give them sustainable lifesteal, which means if the enemy gets too close during this ultimate, they will die. And I see that as fair, because Soldier doesn't get a shield, so he doesn't get something to defend himself other than his main weapon while they're walking up to him. It's their fault. Same with Junker Queen, remember? It's your fault if you walk up to her and you get hit with the insta-kill axe that just bleeds you to death because she doesn't have a shield, so she has to make up for it with damage. So yeah, I actually think this is a cool one. Let me know what y'all think. Next up, we got Pyro, and I think this one's actually going to be an extremely easy one to do. Oh man, there's so many ways to make a Pyro though. Should I include the Flex? Should I include the Gas Passer? Should I include the Scorch Shot? There's so many ways to do this. So clearly, Pyro's getting his flamethrower, right? Let's say every 5 seconds he can deflect 1 projectile. Not bullets, not melee, but it does knock people back. It doesn't directly deal any damage. It does knock people back. You know what? I feel like I should give Pyro an extra ability because he has one that doesn't do damage. It'll deflect 1 projectile, not bullet damage, only explosives and probably Moira Ball, stuff like that. That would definitely be Pyro's right click. Pyro's actual ability will be to shoot a Scorch Shot, and if somebody's on fire, it does extra knockback to them. Instead of just stunning them for, let's say, 0.8 seconds, so that it doesn't do as much stun as McCree's. But if they're on fire, it also knocks them back, let's say, 2-3 feet. You don't need it to be a lot, you just need to get them out of your face. Oh, his third ability. His third ability would be a Gas Passer throw. And how would I describe it? It works like Ana's grenade, except instead of healing or anti-ing people, it just makes them able to be lit on fire by any damage your team does. And if they walk into each other on accident, it starts spreading to the other people. That could be fun. That could be genius. And his ultimate ability would probably be the Phlogistinator. A huge damage increase and 50% longer range on the flamethrower that he's using, which is the Phlogistinator. So it reaches farther and does a lot more damage, but it's really not overpowered because, again, half the roster has movement abilities to just walk away from damage. And then there's immortality. There's 2 different kinds of immortality. Oh, I forgot to talk about Soldier's melee earlier. Soldier's melee would definitely be the whip. He would help his team get to the front lines faster. Anyways, Pyro's melee would most likely be the Volcano Fragment so that it could start up the afterburn if he wanted to do it a lot quicker. Just 1 swing, that's all it takes. And then he can combo that with the freaking Scorch Shot. I have to use the Volcano Fragment because I can't really fairly put in the Extinguisher or the Home Wrecker or the Neon Annihilator. I'm just gonna keep listing stuff off. You could probably just use the stock Fire X. Next up, we got Demo Man. I'm gonna have to get a little bit creative with Demo Man to make him a little bit more unique than Junkrat. Alright, first off, Demo Man's melee is going to be a sword, his Islander. Whenever Demo Man kills somebody with the Islander, it's gonna give him a 3-second speed boost, let's say. Let's say his primary weapon is gonna be the lock and load. Hold on, I know what you're thinking. However, he's going to have a much larger splash radius than Junkrat did, so he will have to hit people directly. However, if he does, he will be rewarded by being able to hit people that aren't directly next to each other. His upside is having more explosive range than Junkrat, but not having the same utility of the bomb being able to explode right next to somebody. You have to hit somebody. He's like a rocket sniper. That's what he is. He's a grenade launcher sniper. Demo Man's actual first ability will be to shoot a loose cannon bomb into somebody. Let's keep the same charge up time because you want to have the weapon use skill. If they miss, the enemy still gets knocked back, but they don't take the extra 15% damage that the second hit would do. Demo Man's third ability would be to pull out his Scottish Resistance and launch a barrage of mines. Kind of like a pseudo Hammond ultimate, except on a lesser scale. He actually has to detonate these himself. They can be destroyed, and they don't activate when somebody walks into them. He has to set them off himself. If somebody walks into the field of the mines, he does get to see it. Like, their hitbox will show up, you know, because it'll show up through walls normally. Anyways, doesn't matter. It's only when they walk through that field. And the mines will go away on their own in probably, like 8 seconds? Let's make it 10. The mines will go away on their own in 10 seconds if you don't destroy something with them. This ability will probably have a longer cooldown time because it has to punish you. Unlike Junkrat's mines, which come back fast, they normally can only hit one person at a time unless they're grouped up. But this is an ability that covers a wider area and can hit more than one person. So I would argue that giving it a higher cooldown would be more fair when you compare it to Junkrat's ability. Demo Man's ultimate ability I feel like could be many things. I don't think it should be an Ulapul Caber because honestly that would just be a knockoff of D.Va. You know what? Let's give him his Shield Bash as his ultimate ability. Unlike Reinhardt's charge, Demo Man's charge will take everybody he hits with them until he hits a wall or falls off the map. That's more fair than pretty much any other ultimate in the game, because unlike Reinhardt's, this one won't have a cancel. He will continue going. Let's say he can also direct himself, but he will continue going until he hits a wall or falls off the map. I'm gonna give it the same turn speed as Reinhardt's because if you make it turn too fast, he'll be able to just collect people. And we want him to go in a straight line and get people who are stupid enough to stay right next to each other and just collect like 2 or 3 people and charge them off a cliff with them. That's honestly more fair than other ultimates that just insta-kill you out of nowhere because you were behind a corner. So yeah, let's go with that. Heavy is another one I'm gonna have to get pretty creative with because there are 2 other minigun characters. Technically 3 or 4 if you include D.Va. Barrels do spin. You got D.Va, Orisa, Bastion, and Mauga. All use miniguns, and it's kind of getting old. Heavy's melee will definitely be the warrior spirit, and if he kills somebody with his melee, which he will have to stop revving his gun to do, let's just make this fair, it'll give him what, 50? No, 75 health back. He has to stop revving his gun, which will take about 0.8 seconds, and then hit you with his melee, which would give you plenty of time to just escape, walk away, because Heavy's not going to be fast. Anyways, his normal minigun is going to be his normal minigun. Heavy's secondary ability is going to be a uppercut with the killing gloves of boxing, which, since they got rid of the old Doomfist ability, the uppercut that would knock people like 3 feet into the air, we'll give that to Heavy now. And if he kills somebody with it, he gets a speed boost because he's a tank and he needs every advantage that anybody can give him because he's going to be the only tank in 5v5. His final ability is going to be to eat his sandwich. Now, this will stop him from moving. However, it will only take 1 second. He will stop moving, take a bite for 1 second, and heal, what, let's say 200 health? No, because if people can shoot you during that, let's make it 250. That would give his healers ample time to help him get back up on health. Alternatively, he could choose to throw it. Like, let's just give him the, you know how some abilities have an F button to mess with them again? Like Sombra's old translocator used to do, and Torbjorn's turret has. Let's just make it so that if he presses F, he can throw his health to somebody else and heal them. Because unlike Roadhog, that would give him the utility of helping his support. So yeah, let's go with that. This would promote a playstyle where Heavy would play around a corner until he's ready to run in, and if he needs to heal, he can stay behind a wall and around the corner where he was at and just eat his sandwich. Alternatively, like Zarya's shield coming back faster when she gives it to a teammate, Heavy's sandwich will come back faster when he gives it to a teammate. Its cooldown will be cut in half, essentially. And that's something that I think would be fair, because he's healing them. Zarya gives people immortality. Heavy's ultimate ability would be to bunker down with his brass beast, which would cause his hitbox to get smaller, and it would cause him to take 70% less damage. Let's go with that. With immunity to headshots. However, his damage is completely normal. This entire ultimate is meant to lock down any capture points or payload for 8 seconds. You can still kill him. If the entire team focuses him, probably will die, but his damage is completely normal and he can't move for 8 seconds. And he can't use any of his other abilities either. That's an absolute win. His ultimate would be designed to be paired with something like Ana's ultimate, because he can't move, so he's gonna need the damage buff. He already has the defense buff. And you know what? Lifeweaver can pull him to another area if they need him somewhere else. Honestly, I think this is a sleeper hit. I could do Engineer as a DPS, but I think he would be more interesting as a support character. Both him and Medic would be support, because most of these characters have been DPS, so I gotta mix it up a bit. So Engineer will get his level 3 sentry. However, there's a caveat to this. Alright, and I think some people are gonna love this. Some people are going to hate this. The miniguns from his sentry are going to be dealing damage to enemies. However, the rockets are going to be doing area of effect healing to his teammates. That, I think, could work really well. Kinda like Baptiste's healing, except it's just rockets coming from his sentry gun. This would make it so that the enemy team would focus the sentry instead of the rest of the team, because the sentry is the biggest threat since it can both deal damage and heal. I would probably make its health really low though. Like, you don't want it to be too overpowered, and its fire rate would probably have to be reduced, because good fucking god, if you've played TF2, that thing shoots fast. Oh my god. Engineer would probably be able to heal a sentry. Actually, we're also gonna have to rework Torbjorn so that they can both heal each other's sentries. Hell, why can't Torbjorn heal Ilari's pylon? Have you guys ever thought of that? Whatever. Engineer's melee is his wrench. Engineer can definitely have the frontier justice. Whenever he gets an assist or a kill on an enemy, it'll give him a 2.5 second speed boost. I can't give him a damage boost because damage boosts only come with ultimates and Mercy's secondary. It would probably be unfair. I'll actually probably give him his damage boost for his ultimate. Actually, along with his damage boost for his ultimate, his sentry will also anti anybody that it hits, not including teammates obviously. But as long as it's firing on them, they will be antied and they won't be able to heal. The second they go around a corner and aren't being fired upon for 0.8 seconds, they will not be antied anymore and will be able to be healed again. His ultimate will last, let's say, 12 seconds? Yeah, 12 seconds is fine. It's a stationary object. All they have to do is not walk into it. The damage from his sentry gun is probably going to have to be adjusted to be really low because he's not supposed to be doing DPS, he's supposed to be healing, which is where his secondary ability comes in. He will be able to place a dispenser which heals nearby allies in a circular radius. You know what? Make it a sphere. Make it a sphere. I want Farah to be able to be healed. Anyways, doesn't matter what the number for the healing is. The real kicker for the dispenser is that it will, over time, reload your weapon for you while you're shooting. For instance, if it's a minigun weapon, it will either reload or help with the cooldown of your weapon. It'll probably reload like, what, 50 bullets per 1.5 seconds. If it's an assault rifle, it'll probably give you 10 bullets per 1.5 second. If it's a single shot weapon like the shotguns, the revolvers, not the sniper. Widows would have to be counted as assault rifle. Anyways, it'll probably give single shot stuff 2 bullets at a time, like the shotguns get 2 back, the revolvers get 2 back. However, the dispenser won't really have that high of a healing because you don't want them to sit there. You don't want to sit there and just not do anything, because if you make it heal too much and give them ammo back to their clip, then they won't ever move from that spot. So lower the healing to a point where the enemy can easily kill them if they're not careful, and they'll be more respectful of sightlines. And Engineer's final ability will be the Wrangler. If he points and clicks at an enemy with the Wrangler, it will target them and deal more damage to them. If he targets a teammate with the Wrangler, it will do more healing to them, probably like 15% more healing, maybe 20. And these boosts only last 5 seconds at a time, and then he has to wait 8 seconds for the cooldown to come back. But yeah, I think that's a good concept to play around with. I don't think it's perfect by any means, but I think it's something unique. That's for sure. Next up, we got Medic. Medic's going to be a little tricky for me because we already have somebody with a staff that heals people. Mercy, of course. However, I think I can make Medic work, actually. So Medic's going to have his normal beam, right? But when he has his beam on you, he can give you a little charge, a little nudge, if you would, that lowers your cooldowns 3 seconds? No, that would be overpowered because some of the tanks' cooldowns are only like 6 seconds. Let's make it 2 seconds. So his first ability can lower whoever's he's healing cooldown by 2 seconds. At a cost, he has to wait 8 seconds to get that back. His secondary ability will not only his healing, but he will be able to fortify the defenses of the person he's healing by giving them a 20% defense boost for 5 seconds. That will also probably have a long cooldown, so I think this is going well so far. I got it! Medic's melee would be the amputator. Whenever Medic kills somebody with melee, it heals everybody around him. That's genius! Because I would use the Uber Saw, but you already gain ultimate charge whenever you deal damage or heal. So you're already doing that with whatever you use, and the Vita Saw is useless because you have the same amount of ult charge when you die and come back. Medic's ultimate would probably be pretty simple. He would gain double healing on the target that he's healing, and he would be immune to knockback. Both of them would actually probably be immune to knockback. How long does Uber Charge last in TF2? I think it's like 10 seconds. So yeah, I think 10 seconds wouldn't be that overpowered because Mercy's ultimate, I swear, lasts either the same amount or longer. Medic's self-defense weapon would obviously be the crossbow, because if I give him the needle gun, nothing good can come of that. The crossbow will probably be a fast projectile with a small hitbox that can either heal an ally or help him defend himself. No headshots though. It doesn't get headshots, and it does a flat 50 damage? Let's go with that, 50, because it's supposed to be a deterrence, not a full-out DPS weapon. I don't know why they made Mercy able to kill tanks in the exact same amount of time as everybody else. That's just stupid. Oh, it's going to be hard to do Sniper. Alright, so Sniper's minimum damage is going to be higher than Widowmaker's minimum damage, but Sniper's maximum damage is going to be lower than Widowmaker's maximum damage. That's how you keep it balanced. Sniper would be more beginner friendly, Widowmaker would be more expert friendly. Sniper's secondary weapon would be the Cleaner's Carbine, because he does need something to defend himself in close range. The Cleaner's Carbine probably just have basic 30 damage like every other weapon ever. Anyways, where it shines is if an enemy has a debuff on them, it does 10% more damage. Screw that, let's make it 20%. That brings it to 6 extra damage. Sniper's third ability would probably have a large cooldown where he throws a bottle of Girardi at the enemy team, and it only lasts for, let's say, 5 seconds, and it shows them through walls wherever they may go. I see that as fair because it doesn't do any direct damage. It only adds to the damage he would be doing with his secondary weapon if he chooses not to use his primary weapon to just get the quick scope. Sniper's ultimate ability would be to bring out the Machina. It will pierce through shields. So the Machina will automatically be doing maximum damage for a duration of 8 seconds, but it will pierce shields and it will headshot anybody in a straight line. It'll pierce all targets. You know what? That's kind of fair. That's 8 seconds. It's lower than a lot of other ultimates. Maybe the piercing headshots is too much. No, because he still does less damage than Widowmaker, which will still make supports able to heal them. And most tanks, he won't be able to headshot people below him unless he's in a specific angle. So he won't be able to get multiple headshots in a row unless they're lined up perfectly. Kind of like Sojourn's ultimate, but with headshots. I think she can headshot, actually. Whatever. Last but not least, we have Spy. His main weapon will be the Enforcer, which will cut through all defensive states and defense boosts to let him do normal damage. His first ability will be to turn invisible for, 8 seconds. We can't have both of them turning invisible forever. So he gets 8 seconds to get his placement. His knife is obviously going to be his melee. His second ability is going to be using his sapper, placing it on a person, which lowers their healing by half. What I mean by that is they gain less health from health sources. If they have the sapper on them, it just stops them from gaining more health as fast as they normally would. For 6 seconds. Let's go 6 seconds. We're gonna have to give Spy the ability to headshot because that's just what happens in Overwatch 2. Every weapon can headshot as long as it's not an explosive or a beam. So that ability to stop people from healing will give him the opportunity to two-shot some of the supports with headshots, of course. If he misses, he's gonna have to go for a third or fourth body shot. Spy's final ability will be the Spicicle. He hits somebody with the Spicicle and it does, let's put a moderate amount of damage. Well, like 50, 60, doesn't matter. Anyways, if they die to the Spicicle, it uses their body as an obstacle and creates basically one ice pillar for their body. You know how Mei can pull up an entire ice wall? It just creates one pillar where the body was. And that's something that Spy can hide behind if he absolutely needs to. Maybe 2 pillars. I think 2 pillars would be more fair. Yeah, 2 pillars now that I think about it. Because 1 pillar can be destroyed with like 200 damage. Most heroes can just click twice and it's done. And his ultimate ability, I can't in good conscience give a melee character insta-kills. Even Genji doesn't have insta-kills. But let's completely ignore the back hitbox thing and make it so that during Spy's 8-second ultimate, he can take anybody he hits with his backstab, quote-unquote backstab, because we're ignoring the back, to 10 health and anti them so they can't heal. But he cannot pull out his gun. His teammates will have to kill the enemies that he brings to 10 health. This will force them to coordinate. And I think that he should at least be able to insta-kill Bob with his ultimate. Bob, sentries, healing pylons, that kind of stuff. As long as it's not a player, he can insta-kill it. But if it is a player, it only brings them to 10 health from wherever they were and antis them so they can't heal. That's fair, I think. Anyways, let me know what you think. That was all the mercenaries, and I hope to see you guys next time. See you later.